Hey guys, it's Andrew Michaels, the host of the podcast you're listening to. I just wanted to let you know that for whatever reason, Jason had some light audio issues this episode. So he's going to sound a little weird. His beautiful voice might be a bit distorted. But guys, it's okay. We'll get through it together. I promise his vocal cords are fine. Anyway, enjoy the show. Alright, so look. This Diddy situation is bad.
Right.
It's not good. We at Underworld News Tonight condemn the actions of Sean Combs, a.k.a. Puff Daddy, a.k.a. P. Diddy, a.k.a. Diddy, a.k.a. Love. We condemn the actions of Sean Combs.
Yeah.
However, unequivocally. However, on the bright side, this situation does leave a certain gap in the market. Guys, I'm not up to date on my hip-hop news, but I think Biggie needs a new producer, and I think I'm the guy.
Yeah. Biggie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not up to date on the industry.
No, I don't think he's needed a producer for going on, 30 years?
Oh, does he produce his own music now?
In a way.
See a lot. I do see the one thing that I will tell you about Brooklyn that's absolutely true. A lot of Biggie murals. I've seen like 3.
Yeah. No, it makes sense.
Yeah, and I check. I'm like, is this like another fat guy? But no, it's you. It is him every time.
Is this is it like here there's mural, like just generally like Denver's kind of a mural town.
Yeah.
Like every flat surface there's some kind of mural, and they have nothing to do, as far as I can tell, with Denver. Like we have Prince and Robin Williams murals, and I'm comfortably certain neither has any special relationship to Denver.
Well, do they? Robin Williams is Robin Williams from Colorado? He was Middle America, right? I know he got big in San Francisco. So. This is a job for Wikipedia. I know Prince is from Minnesota.
Prince is Minnesota.
Robin Williams is from California.
Right. And Mork and Mindy was set in Boulder.
Oh!
Which is like 45 minutes northwest of here. But I don't think they were actually in Boulder, to be clear. Like it was set in Boulder, but I'm sure it was a soundstage and
You don't think they really filmed on location? You think that they thought
Boulder? Yeah.
You think they thought the American people wouldn't recognize Boulder, Colorado versus a fake?
No. I honestly, given that period in the 80s, yes. They no one would have known what Colorado looks like. At that time, there was probably like 7 people living in Colorado.
Oh man, must have been nice.
No, but they did communicate the Colorado-ness of Mork and Mindy well, in that the woman whose name escapes me, she was always wearing a vest, and in the intro was seen driving a Jeep Wrangler.
Well,
those things are very, very Colorado coded.
There's actually another Colorado Easter egg for Mork and Mindy that a lot of people don't know about, which is Robin Williams developing a severe drinking problem.
No, that's true. Yeah. No, that's true.
Anyway.
Oh, man. I feel like we're really digging ourselves a hole.
Man, yeah.
I mean, shitting on P. Diddy, yeah. Yes. Robin Williams, I don't know.
He'd think it was fun. He wouldn't think it was funny, but that's just because I'm not very good at comedy. He'd say tighten it up.
No, yeah. Right. He might have some, I don't know.
Man, he would have loved podcasting.
I mean, I think podcasting was around.
Podcasts were around, but it wasn't at the point where like he would have had one. Like he died in 2014.
Oh, that's
And we now
true.
know he
Yeah.
had Lewy body dementia, and like it wasn't just his suppression issues. This is a little bit of a dark intro, but like it was, he had a
Right.
prognosis that I would have done the same thing, and I'll leave it at that. And like I think that if he was healthy and that wasn't the case, he would have started a podcast. It would have been fucking awesome.
I agree with that. Yeah.
If anyone has a Ouija board, let's get him on.
Okay. Now we've gone too far.
All right. Well, let's dial it back for a minute. Welcome to Underworld News Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, where we bring you the weird, wacky, and wild news of the week. I'm Andrew Michaels, possible new owner of Bad Boy Records. We'll see how it goes. And I am joined, as always, by my co-host. I already fucked up your intro. Let's do it again. I am joined, as always, for my co-host. You might know him best for his role as Big Dick Dick Cheney in the surprisingly prescient Iraq War parody film Yellow Caked Up, Jason Strong.
Yeah. No, it's disappointing it was canceled after half an episode.
I don't know why they went with the
we didn't even finish airing. Halfway through they were like, no. And then for the last 15 minutes there was just the test pattern. And the test pattern actually got higher ratings. So,
to be fair, the HBO miniseries approach was novel.
Right. Especially since it was on TNT.
I recognize, by the way, that intro joke for you was like low key, not that good. However, I thought of Yellow Caked Up yesterday and like really laughed really hard in the middle of a Zoom meeting. So I was like, okay, I guess I have to say it either way.
Yeah. No, I thought it was all right. I like that Yellow Caked Up. Man, it's weird now. Like, goddamn. I remember at the time that just the feeling of like constant dread and depression over the state of the country.
Man,
and now I look back now wistfully.
Oh my God.
Oh man, I wish Yellow Cake was the
man.
That was the biggest problem we had.
All right. I guess, all right, it is an interesting question, right? Because I think, I don't know, I shouldn't even talk about this. We're not talking about politics of the 2000s on this show. I'm going to stop myself right there. Because we talk about UFOs, ghosts, bizarre stories, strange happenstances, some might say.
Right. Yeah. People shitting on airplanes.
We've only done one of those. Have you still never shat on an airplane, by the way? Last time we talked, you said you've never shat, like, in the toilet. That's fucking insane. The air pressure, the change in pressure and barometry or whatever the fuck, that does nothing to you.
I guess not. I don't know. I don't usually eat, like, I did pee last time.
Yeah, everyone pees on an airplane. Everyone's peed on an airplane. You're not special. Sorry, that was mean.
But, yeah. Thanks, Dad.
The Zid pouch has got me worked up.
I know. You're not cute. You're not funny.
The Zid pouch and Monster Energy Ultra combo.
No, I have not. I have not shit on a plane yet.
That is fucking crazy.
I've never been on a flight that's more than like, I don't know, 4 hours.
4 hours is a long time to not shit. Again, I think it really is the change in air pressure that I just turned into a human can of galaxy gas, and it's just out, you know?
No, I don't know. Yeah, legit, I don't recall ever.
Stay away from galaxy gas, by the way, are definitely very young and impressionable listeners.
Yeah,
talking to you, Dad.
Uh-huh. Right.
Put the fruit punch galaxy gas down. You're in your new Volvo.
Is this the fourth episode in a row that you've referred to? You brought up galaxy gas. Are you like low key sponsored by them or something?
All right, we are not sponsored by Galaxy Gas yet, but like, I would take it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like how when the Diddy story first broke, right? We don't need to talk about this. I'll probably forget to edit it out.
We don't need to, but
a lot of people covered that shit up for fame, money, clout, whatever have you, right? And I asked myself, like, how many podcast listeners would I cover up something horrible for? Not necessarily that, but something horrible. And I don't know the answer, but I know it's like a pathetically low number. It's like in the 3 figures. It's like 400 listeners. I'd be like, yeah, I'll bury a body. He'll throw him in the Hudson, you know?
Right. Right. You get an email through the Underworld News Tonight. Hey, man, I think the feds are on to me. Like, all right, I'll drive you to the border.
They wouldn't ask us. They know we talk about it on the show.
Right.
They know the number of times that I say I shouldn't talk about this and then immediately talk about that topic.
There was as I'm sure you've heard, Post Malone released a country album
Yes,
recently,
I know that.
and one of it's funny you bring it like we're talking about, covering up crimes. One of the songs, that's what it's about. I'm trying to remember exactly. I only listened to it once, but about like he's asking his significant other if she'd like get rid of the gun for him if he murdered somebody, and it's
Man,
like the this like increasingly specific. It's not just like, what if I killed somebody? It's like, would you help me carry the concrete, bags of concrete to
that's
hide the body?
that is hard, right? Because it's like, first
That's
off,
yeah,
like, I mean, he likes a robust woman, which I can't judge by any stretch,
yeah,
if you know me.
sure,
But
yeah.
like,
She can she can handle a bag of quickcrete, yeah.
yeah, because I don't think I've ever been with a woman or a man who could handle a bag of concrete. I like, but whatever.
Mhm.
It's hard because Post Malone is definitely rich enough that their significant other would cover, and definitely famous enough, but definitely not hot enough at all.
No, no, I like him though. Not music. Like, it's okay. Like, take it or leave it. Like I guess I'm saying I have no
He's
problem
fine.
with him. When he did the at the start of COVID, when he he live streamed like a show where he was doing Nirvana covers.
Oh, I know that.
Uh, oh yeah, no, that was pretty badass. Um,
That's the thing that's
yeah,
only
I think
badass if
he's
you're
real
already a
versatile.
famous singer. If anyone else was if like you were live streaming yourself doing
Oh
Nirvana
right,
covers during
uh-huh.
COVID, the group chat would have been like, should we like talk to him?
Right. Well, during COVID, I would be one of like three. I mean, I think literally every other adult male in the United States was live streaming themselves at
Yeah,
some point during COVID, right? Because what the fuck else are you gonna do? Um,
work at a call center from home and think about killing yourself,
yeah, I mean that's one option. Yeah.
man.
All right. Um, did we did we intro? Did we get
I
everything
think
out of the
so.
way?
Yeah, we told people what this podcast is. They're listening to a podcast. If you don't know what a
Uh,
podcast is, it's like a radio show, but it's on, it's on the internet. It's named
right.
after iPods, but people don't really have iPods anymore, so that name itself is kind of an
Hmm.
anachronism now. Technology moves very fast.
Sure. Right.
Radio, that's when there are specific waves that you could take advantage of in the atmosphere,
Hmm.
and you use those to
Yeah.
broadcast signals. You got to tune it to the right signal. The Eiffel
Uh-huh.
Tower was a radio tower.
Yeah. Okay.
Towers are like houses but bigger.
And made of metal.
They're made of
Like they have
metal.
to be metal to, yeah, conductive because
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
broadcasting.
For now.
It's radio waves and yeah, right. And now it's being slowly replaced by the internet, which I think is increasingly brought to us by a constellation of satellites orbiting the Earth, and it's going to get to the point where we can't. Not only can we not do any
Are
more
you
space
getting me worked up
launches.
about Kessler syndrome on purpose? Because we have had private conversations about this all over the summer right before we started this show, and I worry about Kessler syndrome. Kessler syndrome and getting cancer are the two things I worry about every fucking day. Probably should lay
Yeah,
off the Zyn pouches and Monster Energy Ultras.
I was going to say. Um, yeah. Uh, no, I just saw. I recently saw like a map of all the Starlink
Yeah, no,
satellites around Earth, and it's just the Starlink ones, and yeah, it's like a mesh, or you
yeah.
know what I mean? Like a yeah. Um, no, and I know like astronomers are complaining, like it's getting harder for them to do their thing and look out into deep space when there's all this crap in orbit. So
I don't care about the astronomers. I care about the ufologists.
right,
Last blue collar
well, right,
profession.
exactly, right, yeah, we're a working man. Do they ever unionize?
The ufology movement. I don't think that. I think that that's a conspiracy in and of itself. Obviously,
Okay. Well, we don't need to get into that now. Yeah.
that's good because I did not
All
have
right.
anything else. I did not have anything funny to
Nope.
say after that. I was really hoping you didn't ask me to keep going.
No. Did yeah. Right. Yeah. Tell me your thoughts on astronomy.
It was gonna
um,
get to the point where I actually have to reveal that I'm really fucking stupid. I just look too weak to be
I
stupid.
I I feel like you do a pretty fair job of that. I think we both do. To be um,
Jason, you got
okay.
some stories
Our
for us.
I do. We'll start here with the first story. I know you you literally just said a couple minutes ago we don't talk about politics on this show. Um, well, a big trigger alert, trigger warning. I
All
don't
right.
know. We are going to talk a little bit about politics. No reference to political parties. We're going to talk about a politician,
Okay.
I should say.
Let's go.
And yeah,
It's
this
about
story
time.
comes to
Martin
us
Van
from
Buren. About time someone put that fucker in his place.
someone right canceled. Martin Van Buren. Yeah, you're out of here. Wants to take him off the what $6 bill. I don't think he's on anything.
I voted. I voted Wig.
Yeah, bull moose. No, that was later. Um, this comes to us from Yahoo News. Actually, this the website Yahoo News. The original article, Daytona Beach News Journal, uh, by Bernino Carrillo.
Bernino Carrillo.
Bernino Carrillo.
Bernino Carrillo. Oh, I want a
Ooh, I
Pinot.
want a Pinot. Yes, very good. Remember, you should make that. You should sing us out with that.
I'll have to think of the rest of it. I'll just be
I
dead
know.
silent during this podcast and start having a nosebleed.
Just sort of mumble. Um, who is Diezel Depew, Edgewater mayor, 20, facing drinking, racial slur allegations?
Okay. So I was with him in the first half. Second half, it's a bit of a problem.
Lost me. Yeah. Um, yeah. This takes place in Edgewater, Florida. Do you know anything about Edgewater, Florida?
I know it was very controversial for them to name a city after Gen Z's favorite sex act when they did it.
Yeah, and very forward thinking too.
Exactly. Yeah.
Actually, yeah. No, it's a small I want to say tourist town. It's on the coast,
Okay.
south of Daytona Beach.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah. It's been almost 2 years since Diezel Depew was elected Edgewater mayor at just 18, the youngest in the city's history.
Yeah, I figure he should be the youngest in the city's history if he's 18, right?
Yeah, and he was 17 when he began campaigning,
Okay.
so he was real like just out of high school.
I would have fucking hated this kid.
Yes, you would have. Yes, you will.
All right.
uh, During three city council meetings in the past few months, a resident has accused Depew of underage drinking, using a racial slur, and engaging in behavior unbecoming of his office.
Okay. I'm
And,
going to stop right there for a second.
yeah,
Underage drinking and a racial slur. I'm against the second one. Don't really care about the first one that much. But both of those things seem very becoming of the mayor of Edgewater, Florida. I think that's like what the office requires.
like expected in a way. Yeah, yeah. Well, and as I mentioned, Edgewater, it's a like coastal town just outside of Daytona Beach. Like it's tourism, so yes, everyone's drinking.
Yeah. It's hot out.
Well, yeah, that too. And the Gators.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's go, boys. Get him on the field.
In the most recent meeting, which took place Monday, this is actually from the September 11th, so we're going back a couple weeks.
Oh man, that some say that this was Edgewater's 9/11.
Mm-hmm. Resident Anthony Kinvar again accused the mayor, excuse me, during public participation of, of such behavior. What? What? Hang on. I'm gonna take another run at that. This sentence doesn't. In the most recent meeting, which took place Monday, resident Anthony Kinavar again accused the mayor during public participation of such behavior, this time also referencing photos and videos Kinavar posted on social media, which he says shows Depew with drinks, rapping lyrics to the, pardon, I'm sure I'm pronouncing this wrong, uh, Hydrocoke track, N words in my butthole.
Huh.
It doesn't,
I don't know that song.
and star, star, star. Yeah, and crying out, "I need alcohol." In the interest of immersing myself in this story,
Mhm.
to report it as best I could. Yes, I did listen to the song and catchy.
Oh, yeah. If only we had the
So
rights, I could use it on the show, but unfortunately not.
yeah,
Listen, we have all been screaming, I need alcohol at some point or another. That's not a crime.
exactly. Some
And
of us this morning.
and if anything, doesn't that prove that he wasn't underage drinking?
Well, it proves he knows he's familiar with the effects of alcohol, right?
Here's what I'm saying. If you're underage drinking, you don't need alcohol because you have it. He was saying he needs alcohol, meaning he doesn't have it.
Because
For
he
all we
can't get
know,
it.
he was
Understood.
saying
Yeah,
he was saying, I need alcohol. Unfortunately, I am 20 years old, and I disagree with the law that sets the drinking age as 21. I think we should be more like the European model. However, as mayor
uh-huh.
of Edgewater, Florida, I understand that underage drinking would obviously be unbecoming to my office. Similarly, here are some lyrics that I definitely shouldn't say.
Right,
And I'm only doing this as a
yeah,
demonstration, like we're reading To Kill a Mockingbird. We don't know the whole story.
right, right. And it's also it's indicative of the town that it names the specific resident who spoke up during the council meeting, as if there's like 106 people that live there.
I have to
Like
say,
fucking Anthony at it again.
mayor is really the only job where I'm like, okay, you're allowed to like go to his kind of place of work and do that. If it was really anywhere
Yeah,
else, I'd be like, yeah, unless he's like threatening people.
right, right. No, no, I agree. It's just funny. Um, Depew did not respond to a text seeking comment Tuesday morning. And it's also funny that the reporter decided, like,
Text.
I'll shoot him a text. Hey, dude,
Let me check if he's playing
look
Fortnite
at
right now. I'll ask him to squat up and do the interview.
right. I'll catch him on his Discord.
This
Uh,
guy definitely. If this guy's group chats get leaked, he's
he
fucked. To be
yeah,
fair,
he
that's
is.
any of us.
And he definitely plays Fortnite. Um, he also did not respond to Kinvar's allegations during the meeting. Depew's candidacy in 2022 drew special public interest, given his age, while also being marked by an eventful campaign, which led to the then 18-year-old beating a former Edgewater mayor, Mike Ignatiuk, in the general election. Here's what we know about Depew.
All right, let's go.
Yeah. Depew's passion for politics, mayoral candidacy. Before the election, Depew expressed a passion for serving the community he grew up in. His mother, Darla Depew, said his desire to be involved in local politics, quote, a good calling for him. Okay, is it? I don't know. Maybe I'm just too cool or cynical. Like a 17-year-old that's super interested in local politics.
That's
That doesn't
weird.
sound that sounds a little odd.
Yeah, I was definitely
I
interested
guess
in
who am I to
politics as a
judge?
kid, but I was
Yeah,
not like, I'm going to run for town council of Mountain Lakes, New Jersey. And then also, like, I had a more cynical take, which is that it's not really like I want to serve my local community when it's like I
mhm,
want to be the ruler of Edgewater, right?
right.
Is
Well,
that
right.
like too cynical? Like I feel like
No, no.
running for
That
president is not like I want to serve my country inherently. It's like I want
right.
a level of power, and some people want that for good reasons and most don't.
That's yeah for less good. Yeah. No, no, no. I should clarify, like, as far as him being young and interested in local politics, that in itself, I guess, isn't too weird, except that his mom described him as having a passion for serving the community at 17.
Man.
That, like, what? Anyway,
Do you know what so we had to do
uh,
community service before I graduated high school, and
me too.
my project was like I just went into a nursing home and like spent time with World War II veterans, and they just talked to me about the war, and it was a good time.
Yep. Mhm. No, mine. I helped man. I want to say it was the cake booth at the school fair.
The cake
It was,
booth.
it was in the summer. Yeah, where there's like a wheel, kind of like a roulette wheel that like horizontal or vertical,
What the
and
fuck?
people would bet, on the numbers, right? And if it came up, there was a variety of baked goods
Are you
that the
fucking
local
serious?
community provided. Yeah. Oh my God, it
You
was one of
had
my favorite
fucking
things.
pastry gambling?
Yeah. Oh,
What?
it was so fun. And it was, I mean, there was like monetary gambling booths too. But I was a kid, so I couldn't do anything with those. But with
Yeah.
the cake booth, it's different. No, that was always one of my favorite booths. Yeah, like all the families would, at the school would bring, cupcakes or cakes or pies or something. And yeah, if
Do you
you
ever
do
see a
this gambling
guy?
game, and if you won, yeah.
Do you ever see a guy if you when you were there who like
Mhm.
had a gambling problem, right? And he was like, I can't do the money booths, but then he gets way too into the cake booth.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, for real?
Right. Uh-huh. No, at one point he had like six cakes and he just couldn't stop. And then eventually had to give them back to us because he was on a losing streak.
Oh my
No.
god.
We were like, man, you're cut off. Security had to walk him out.
I've got a
Uh,
corn muffin on black.
uh-huh. Yeah, we had his photo hanging up in the cake booth. Yeah, the cake booth pit boss came out and cut him off. Anyway, back to the story. Ever since I can remember, I always wanted to get into politics. Diezel Depew told the News Journal after announcing his candidacy in April 2022. I've always said that it's always important for politicians to say the truth in what is going on and always relate to the public in any way they possibly can. Again, this is what then 18-year-old Diezel Depew said.
That is
As
not
he
anything.
always says.
This is the
Right.
fucking like.
It's uh-huh.
What am I going to go up there and be like? Yeah, it's important for me to lie all the time and do whatever the
Right.
fuck I want.
Right. Well, it doesn't say, like, I guess if he was really as into the truth as he's claiming here, what he would have said is, I've always said you should be screaming for alcohol in the face of song lyrics.
Yeah.
And that would have been more accurate. Uh, no, yes, this is very much, wait till I get to uh, describing his website.
All right, let's go.
Again, 18 years old, or well, 20 now. Anyway, Depew started his own lawn care business when he was just 12 years old. At the time,
That can't be legal.
he said his parents were against the idea, so he set out to do it himself, buying a lawnmower, quote, with quarters and doing, quote, everything on my own.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, this is,
That is
yes,
not true. That
this
can't be
pissed
true.
me off tue. No, none of, well, first of all, started his own business. Like, dipshit, I was cutting grass when I was 12 too. I didn't consider myself
For
an
real.
entrepreneur. Like, I wanted a Nintendo. So in the summer I mowed lawns, and in the winter I shoveled, and in the spring and fall I resold prescription medications.
Oh, obviously, yeah.
Yeah, but I like uh, his own lawn care business is total horseshit. And yes, bought a lawnmower with quarters. Did he have like a pillowcase full of quarters?
Yeah.
Like what lawnmower? That makes no sense.
Oh my god. No, this
There's
is
a-
not. The story isn't adding up. I'm not I'm not an expert, but like,
no, no. It's just funny what a typical, like at this age already, what a like stereotypical politician. He already
Well,
is.
no, here's the
Like,
thing, though,
like to
right?
some
Like,
extent, maybe he's right that like this is his calling because all of this is like boilerplate, lazy,
it's bad
vaguely
movie
corrupt
dialogue.
politician. Exactly. Exactly. Yes. But no, what were you gonna say?
This is why I'm almost wondering, right? Like,
Hmm.
when you are 17, 18 years old,
Hmm.
your politics are either A, what your parents think, B, the exact opposite of what your parents think, or C, just like some shit you read online and vibes, right? Like,
Yes.
when I was 17, I was like, oh, I'm like a centrist and I think John Huntsman should be president. Then when I was 20, I was like, I'm like a socialist. I'm like a socialist anarchist. We need to like burn things down. And now I'm 20,
Right.
28, turning 29 tomorrow. And I'm
Mhm.
like, probably going to vote for Kamala. Like, you know.
Right.
So I almost
Yeah.
wonder if he's like doing this to be
No,
like,
I
I
agree.
don't want
Yeah.
to be the 20-year-old mayor anymore. This fucking sucks.
Right. It could be, but yeah, I don't know. I have to imagine that the mayor of somewhere like Edgewater, Florida, like what could they what could possibly be going on there
They
that
still have
like
like a
would be
sewer.
stressful for a mayor? I mean, like there'll be, the regular city budget and like, yeah, John's pig got into the public park and so we need to, pay we need funds to replace the bench or whatever. But I just can't imagine it being that stressful.
I feel like being mayor of a small town is like much more stressful than being mayor of a big city. Because I live in New York City.
Really.
I live in New York City, and our mayor's job, he lives every day like like it's just a dog's last day. Where like he goes to a new place, says the dumbest fucking thing you've ever heard in a weird outfit, eats some food, and leaves. And then you see him again a week later doing the same thing.
The same thing. Yeah. I don't know. Back to the article. He also said he had started going to city council meetings and learning up about city government in the years leading up to his decision to run for office.
Let's go to school.
Quote, I was scared for him about how people would perceive it, Depew's mother said when he joined the race. But through his whole life, he's always related to adults very well and enjoyed spending time with older people and learning their wisdom. Which, no, come on,
That
no.
that's people
Sorry.
said that
No.
about me as a kid. People said that about me as a kid. I just didn't have a lot of friends.
Right. I had crippling social anxiety
I was a fat
and
kid.
needed like I needed to be around a comforting adult figure constantly.
Oh my god.
And also, when I was a kid, we only had one TV, and so it was always what my parents wanted to watch. So of course, I learned much more about like adult culture and
Oh my god.
day-to-day living. Depew turned 18 in May 2022, around the time he graduated from New Smyrna Beach High School. Uh, next in stolen campaign signs. Here's where it heats up.
Oh man.
In August of in the August 2020 primary, Depew finished second in the mayoral race behind former mayor Mike Ignatiuk, who had received 48% of the vote. Later in October, Ignatiuk was charged with, it says petite theft. I think they mean petty theft,
Petty
although
theft. Petite theft.
petite theft, that's kind of a fun,
So it's just a petite theft.
right? Just petite. Was charged with petty theft, accused of stealing his opponent's campaign signs.
Man.
Depew said a campaign volunteer placed a trail camera on property owned by local restaurant Riptides. Love Riptides. Love
Oh
their.
my god.
They got great jalapeno poppers. $3 margaritas on
Rip,
Wednesdays.
Riptide sounds like a restaurant you go to because you have a stressful meeting the next day and you want to get food poisoning to get out of it.
You're right.
No
Um,
offense to the hardworking people at Riptides. I'm sure it's great.
right. Uh, where was that? Yeah. Established, or excuse me, placed a trail cam on property owned by local restaurant Riptides after obtaining permission. Of course, they have consent. They had to put that in the article. The campaign signs were at the corner of South Ridgewood Avenue and Joseph Drive.
As if I'm going to know where the fuck that
Again,
is.
right. Again, oddly specific.
It's
When
where I sell
questioned by
Galaxy
police,
gas to kids.
right. Well, that's where Riptides is. You'll find me there on Tuesdays for
That's right.
karaoke. When questioned by local police, Ignatius admitted to removing the signs, but said he did so because they were in the street's right of way and were blocking his signs. Ignatius said he had had the signs, but by the time the report was written, he had turned them over to the city's code enforcement department, according to the charging affidavit.
And
So, yeah, so some shenanigans down there in Edgewater.
I kind of love it,
Uh,
honestly. Like
I
this,
did too.
this is great.
Have you seen the movie Election? This is
Never
what
seen
it
that
brings to
movie.
mind. Like like the ambitious, vaguely obnoxious kid, and the sort of cynical, like grown up. It doesn't say how old Ignatius is, so maybe the problem he was the previously the youngest.
He was the
Maybe
18 and a
he's
half year old
maybe he's
mayor.
23, right? And he's pissed that his record's going to be taken away by this young upstart. Anyway, Depew pulls upset win, becomes Edgewater mayor on election night. Depew was accompanied by his family and friends at you'll like this one, Bagel Barn Cafe and Deli in Edgewater to watch the results come in. Is that
I cannot
do,
imagine the bagels in Edgewater, Florida, are very good.
do do you not do they not come from barns?
I've never seen a
You'll
bagel
typically
bar.
get bagels from barns.
You got to milk the cow with a hole in the middle, and that's how you get the bagel.
I always wondered about that. We were very happy with the results. Everyone on our team was thrilled. Most of us, of course, got emotional. It was a great day.
Most of us,
I'm
I'm just picturing his dad's there, like, all right, come on, fucking
like,
razor on.
fucking hell. Right. Like, this was supposed to shut him up.
Oh my god.
This was supposed to get him to pick up a football instead of go to city council meetings. Depew beat Ignatius with 55% of the vote. Uh, 100 days into his term, he told the News Journal he takes the job, quote, seriously, and I treat it as a full-time job.
As you should. You're the fucking mayor. What do you mean?
Right.
Oh, I treat it as a full-time job like it's a fucking...
Yeah. Good for you, buddy. Although, to be fair, I've had full-time jobs that I did not treat as full-time jobs.
Yeah, but you weren't the mayor. You've never been a mayor.
Right.
Yet.
Right. I'm working on it.
You should run for mayor of Denver.
I'm going to run against... and it was going to be time-consuming from the moment I filled out my application for it. He said last year, and I put my heart and soul into it every day, 24/7, even in my sleep most of the time.
Well, no, you need 8 hours of sleep. Otherwise, you lose your judgment and end up saying the N-word.
What mayoral duties is he's doing in his sleep? They just like during city council meetings, he's just propped up.
Man, it's like every night I dream about not fucking my intern.
Resident accuses Depew of using fake ID to buy alcohol. During a July council meeting, Kunvar accused the mayor of attempting to use a fake ID to buy alcohol in June at a Port Orange restaurant.
All right, Diezel, bud, when you become famously the child mayor, you can't use fake IDs. You have to go like a few towns over, or
Well,
just have.
It sounds like he did it because it says Port Orange. I assume that's another town.
Or just have a friend buy you alcohol. I didn't have a fake ID in college. I had friends who were either 21 or had fake IDs, and they bought my alcohol.
Right. Well, you're the mayor, right? You can't just ask, like, hey, man, ask the deputy mayor or whatever, like, hey, do me a solid. Get me a case of Natty Light.
Oh, man, that deputy mayor under Diezel Depew, that is a great job.
Yeah, that guy ain't doing shit. Well, no, or he's like running around putting out fires that the mayor like.
Probably, it's actually probably very stressful. Probably like a lifelong public servant who's like, "What the fuck is wrong? Why do I live in Edgewater, Florida?"
Yeah. So, Port Orange police records court said in July the agency did not have any records of a complaint involving Depew, but Port Orange Mayor Don Burnett has said the incident was being investigated by another law enforcement agency due to potential conflicts of interest. What other other law
What
enforcement
other law
agency? What
enforcement agency is there in
right?
Edgewater, Florida? Is
What
the FBI
what the
involved?
fuck's go? What the hell's going on? Public records request sent to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement on July 3rd, seeking a report on any potential investigation into the matter has not been fulfilled. Kinvar alleged Depew, accompanied by Burnett, decided to have an evening out at a business serving alcoholic beverages in Port Orange. During their visit, Mr. Depew attempted to use a Georgia ID with a 2000 birthday.
Man,
That's an
fake
oddly
IDs have
specific charge.
2,000 birth dates now. Fuck.
I know. Imagine how I feel, dude. If I if I think hard enough, I'll bet I could remember what I was doing July 3rd in 2000.
I don't think
Actually,
you
it's
can
not.
remember what you were doing
Actually, it's
July
not.
3rd, 2000. Yeah.
It's it's not that hard. I was drunk.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and he's with the other mayor, so it's like a mayor, like a mayor's night out. I don't know. I was trying to think of a quirky way to say that. Like,
Man, the worst party of all time.
right. Yeah, and how bad does this Burnett guy suck that he's like, sure, 20-year-old.
Yeah, he's peer
Let's
pressuring the
drink
other
together.
20-year-old mayor. Oh my
um,
god.
all right, this is already too long. I'm gonna power through this. Anyway, they were at the Port Orange Half Wall Restaurant and Craft Beer Bar, eating a dinner with friends. Peter has to join him. He didn't stay long and left. I'm not sure if there's something personal between him and the guy, Burnett said, because the server made some comments about him when he left. Frankly, I was involved, didn't see much of, and wanted to stay the hell out of it. So, no, Burnett, the Port Orange mayor, not coming forward with any details. I don't know. We'll see. Our hero Depew landed himself in a little bit of hot water after yeah, bullshitting his way into the mayor's
Oh
office.
my
It's
god.
funny. It's funny because his official website, Mayor Diezel Depew, um, it touts his experience as a reason that you would vote for him. Um, it says Mayor Diezel Depew, fighter, leader, worker, and then
Worker?
yeah, a picture of what
You're
looks like
really
the
banking off of
14 year
that
old.
lawn care business with the worker thing.
I know. But yeah, there you have it. Yeah,
Man. If you elect
it's
a 20 year
ridiculous.
old named Diesel with a Z,
Right.
what do you expect, though? Like, honestly, it's going to get up
Right.
to some shit.
Well, according to his website, you expect him to put his experience to work, and he'll treat it just like a full-time job.
It's going to put his experience to work. He's been saying the N word for years.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. Funny. I do think it, for me personally, I have no political ambitions except possibly mayor of a small town like that.
No,
Listen,
that
I
would be a
just don't.
blast.
It can't be that hard. Like you just opening opening malls and quickie marts, right? Cutting the big ribbons.
So here in New York, along with like the mayor and the city council, we also have borough presidents, where like each borough has like the
Okay.
borough president. I'm still
Mhm.
trying to figure out what the borough president actually does. I think you just pretend to be the mayor of Brooklyn. It's like being Bane.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe that's a cool gig too. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's actually hard to get
Oh,
those. The
yeah.
problem.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. For our next story, we're going to stay in Florida, great state of Florida.
Hell yeah.
This story, yeah, uh, just happened that way. I didn't pick out. I'm not deliberately picking on Florida today.
Yeah.
It's I'm only accidentally picking on
It's
Florida.
not that hard to accidentally pick on Florida, though.
No. This story comes to us from Q105. Q105, Tampa Bay's hits of the 80s, 90s, and more.
You mean the 2000s and 2010s, maybe the 70s sometimes.
Under the and more,
yeah,
probably.
Yeah. You could just say you could just finish the decades that you play. You know, don't leave me guessing. Be weird if they
I
like
don't
the
know.
80s and 90s, but some from the 40s.
Right.
If they went straight from The Cure into Sherry Baby, you know.
Uh-huh. Yeah. No, and how how many radio stations are there that play the hits of the 80s, 90s, and more? What
It
I
probably
want to
used to be
hear,
the 80s, 90s, and today. Because when I was a kid, I'd be in the car with my
yes,
dad and it'd be
yeah,
like,
it
here's the
was, yeah,
80s, 90s,
hmm
and today. And now that was 20
right,
years ago, which probably
yeah,
means it's time to like change your radio system, your radio station's like business model a little bit.
N- right. No, I don't want to hear the hits. Like, I don't need to hear Total Eclipse of the Heart again or Amy Grant's Baby. I want to hear the songs that bombed.
I want to hear
I want
that.
to hear like the worst songs of the 80s, 90s, and more.
Oh my God.
Why does no one has the courage to do that? That would be a station worth listening to.
Yeah, I want to hear like my
Anyway,
dad's college roommate's ska band.
exactly, exactly. Man, headline. Oh, I'm sorry. This is the author is listed as Meredith.
All right.
Strange UFO sighting reported over downtown Tampa last night.
Hmm.
Seems there might have been a UFO sighting. Thousands of people are talking about a strange triangle-shaped figure that was flying around downtown Tampa. Multiple videos show the odd-looking, unidentified shaping flying quickly. Wait,
Unidentified
yeah,
shape
this is
flying.
no, it says shaping,
Oh,
but
great.
yes, yeah,
All right, so guys, let's if you're keeping track on the Jason Strong dementia symptom counter at home, do not count that one.
no, no, these are actually terribly written. Um, the videos show the odd-looking, unidentified shape flying quickly left and right. Many people thought it was strange, just stared at the figure moving around in the sky.
A lot of UFO stuff. There is like the weird flight patterns. They just like move left and right and then disappear
Yeah,
and stuff
it's
like
like
that.
erratic.
Yeah, they're kind of
Uh-huh.
fucking with us, I think.
You think so? Like
Yeah,
it's a deliberate, like showing off, or just
the theories out there are either they're showing off, they're
mhm,
it's some sort of residual effect of how they get there, whatever their interstellar travel system is, or we're just
that's
seeing
true.
like light flickers of whatever they did hours ago.
No, I was about to say, or it could be some side effect of whatever, like propulsion system, because whatever they use to get here, it's got to be they have to be moving like traveling faster than light speed.
Or their
Like
UFO is just a
for it to
real
make
piece of
sense,
shit, and that's why they're in Tampa.
it's all janky. Yeah. um, just over downtown Tampa, triangular flying object seen floating over Bayshore, Davis Island, and downtown Tampa. Could it actually be a true UFO sighting in the Tampa Bay area? Or is there some other explanation for this happening?
Oh, obviously the first
Tampa
one.
is exactly what?
End of
Yeah,
article.
yeah. Tampa isn't new to UFO sightings. We're one of the cities in Florida that has reported many unidentified flying objects.
I feel like
Florida
every city in
continues
Florida has a lot of UFO reports.
the UFOs. Yeah. Florida continues to be a main focus for most UFO enthusiasts, with continuous reports of UFO sightings. Or alternatively, maybe they just wanted an excuse to go to Florida. Like it would make more sense, we need to investigate some UFO sightings. We have some in Florida and we have some in North Dakota. Which one should we go? Where should we investigate?
Maybe this is going to be a little controversial. What if aliens look like Goofy? Right? All right, hear me out. They
Hmm.
look like Goofy.
Okay. Okay.
They want
Like
and
the dog, the
yeah, the Disney mascot
Disney
Goofy,
dog.
and they're going to Florida
Okay.
because they want to fuck Goofy.
Oh. Well, they could go to California too, or
But no one goes to Disneyland, California.
France. Do they?
Yeah,
I haven't been to either.
yeah.
So
They could go to France. They could go to Euro Disney.
That's where it is at, France?
I think it's in Paris. Yeah, it kind of famously didn't do well
Okay.
because the French people were like, "Why the fuck would we want a Disneyland in Paris?"
Yeah. No, interesting theory. Florida, well, I already read that. When people report seeing an extraterrestrial or hovercraft, well, I think extraterrestrial, we know what a hovercraft is. They often describe strange lights, unusual flight patterns. Most of the occasions and encounters are mostly unexplained aerial phenomena. Many witnesses from all over the state of Florida share different. It says just to give you an example, many witnesses are from all over the. Oh, never mind, I read it. Many witnesses are from all over the state of Florida and share different stories, but share similar experiences. Yeah. So, and then yeah, main explanation for the count is overall mystery surrounding UFOs. And there's a photo of a triangular object over what appears to be the Soul skyscraper in Tampa. But
Huh.
that's it. So we got another one, another sighting in Tampa. What do you think of the triangular shape?
I feel like we've heard
It
a
seems like
few
it's yeah.
stories of kind of triangle shaped UFOs. I don't think recently. I think we've seen a lot more of the classic saucer and stuff like that. But I feel like we've covered some of those. Honestly,
Mhm.
the skeptical explanation is that suggests that it could be some more of a satellite, something like Starlink, which does appear, I mean, not quite triangular, but much more narrow and stuff like that, or just a misidentified plane or military aircraft or something.
Sure.
Um, but that is
Who
interesting.
knows?
It's probably a more realistic shape as far as propulsion goes. Um,
Right.
but
More
yeah,
more like aerodynamic. Yeah.
yeah,
Um, yeah. So two out of Florida.
nice. I'm gonna take a quick break and then get back to the last two stories.
Yeah. Sounds good.
All right. Well, we
You
will be
trying
right back. I got to go ahead and get some alcohol for the mayor of Edgewater, Florida. So I'll go make a quick run to
uh-huh.
get some buzz boxes, whatever the fuck those are
Yeah.
called. What are those called? The fucking
Right.
alcoholic juice boxes that all the kids are drinking these days.
Oh shit, you're asking the wrong
It's the
person.
new beat boxes. They're called beat boxes.
Big boxes. Okay. I don't think I've ever even seen those.
They are only for underage alcoholics.
Oh, that's probably why. Like they hide them when I come in. That makes sense. All right.
All right. We'll be right back.
Cool. And yeah, seamless transition from break.
Hell yeah.
No one will ever know
No one's
I
ever
was
gonna
doing
know. People don't even know. Like, this podcast doesn't just happen. It's so smooth. People say all the time, "Is it AI? Are you guys even real?" And yeah, we are. We're just that
Yeah.
good.
Uh-huh. Uh Next story. Bit of a rebuttal to the one I just shared about UFOs in Florida. This comes to us from The Week
All right.
by reporter Elizabeth Carr Ellis of The Week UK. Why more and more people believe in
You don't
aliens.
need to say that about their country. That's a little mean.
What did I say?
Called the weak UK. Like, that was a little snarky.
Oh, that's weak. Yeah.
It's crumbling
Uh-huh.
empire.
Ineffectual. Um, yeah.
They need a strong
Past
leader like
heyday.
Diezel Depew to shake things up.
Exactly. He will treat it. He will treat being mayor of the UK as a full-time job.
Mayor of the UK. The thing is, being 20 hammered and racist would qualify you more to lead the UK, I feel like.
Well, he could certainly legally acquire alcohol there, right? Isn't it
Yeah,
drinking age 18? Yeah.
I think it's 18.
Yeah.
Some parts
Uh,
of Europe, it's 16.
yeah. Well, I don't think that's the UK. Well, I don't know, maybe.
I think in
I mean, for me
France,
it
it's
was
like
like
you can.
for me it was like 14,
Yeah.
but
I think in France, it's like you could get. Yeah, I mean, for you, it was just whenever you could see the top of the bar,
yeah,
which was good for you,
right.
bad for your high school classmate, Vern Troyer.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he really it really didn't do him any favors.
R.I.P.
No, I was gonna say it depends on whose turn it was to be the top or the bottom in the trench coat. think if you were the one on the other guy's shoulders, it was your turn to get the beer.
Whenever you tell me a story about child Jason, I do literally just picture you now walking around like Robin Williams in the movie Jack, directed by Francis Ford
Right,
Coppola.
like a right, yeah, fully a big bearded guy in like fifth grade with pimples and cracking voice.
Man, I'm still waiting for my voice to crack.
Hey Diana, would you go out with me?
All right, I don't like where this is going one bit.
More and more people believe in aliens. Growing numbers say they've seen a UFO. Even U.S. politicians getting caught in the trend.
I mean, that's always been the case,
And
though. Jimmy Carter
nothing
saw
new.
UFOs.
Yeah. Um, yeah.
That's why they're
Belief
trying to
in
take him
aliens.
out.
Right. It's very much it's a long con. Like we'll let him quietly retire from office, and then we'll give him another, let's say, 50 years
50 years, he'll build a bunch of
of,
houses, become beloved
right,
as a
humanitarian
humanitarian
work.
icon, fall off of his bike once, and then it's going to be a rapid downhill for his health, but he'll hang in there, and the
Yeah,
Martians will win.
exactly. Belief in aliens is nothing new. Reports of UFOs can be found in 4th century Chinese texts. Didn't know that. But over the last few years, there's been a sharp increase in the numbers. Truly think the truth is out there. In fact, reported Newsweek, the idea is gaining unprecedented traction, U.S. and elsewhere, leading to concerns about the impact it could have.
I mean, it's gaining
Here's some,
traction, though, because we've had hearings where a lot of what we didn't know is known, and it's a lot fucking crazier than people thought it was going to be.
yeah, yeah. They get to, I think that touches on that. But first, some stats here. In the late 1990s, only 20% of the people in the U.S. believed UFO sightings were proof of alien life, said the
Oh, okay.
magazine, said Newsweek. Yeah. That had risen to 34% by 2022, at which time 24% of 1,000 Americans polled had said they had seen a flying saucer.
I know
So,
we're not the smartest country. You could say
mhm,
240 of 1,000.
mhm.
All right, like that's such a round number. I know that's not important.
Oh, you're questioning their methodology.
No, I'm saying that
Yeah,
like they don't need to be like 24% of 1,000. That's 240 people. I could do that math in my head. I
right.
don't know. I think I'm just being grumpy.
Oh, no, no, I got you. I got you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh-huh. Well, I don't know. Don't they say newspapers are written for like what, fourth grader?
I think I remember learning this in high school. I think it's that USA Today is written on like a fifth grade reading level. The New York
Mhm,
Times is on, I think, like a sixth or seventh grade reading level. And then like Wall Street Journal at the time was on like an eighth grade reading
mhm.
level or a 10th grade reading level. And that was like the
Yeah, right.
smart paper. But now I think the Wall
Uh-huh.
Street Journal is probably dumber too.
Yeah, yeah. No, I don't know. But you're right. Yeah,
I was a bit of a
that's
little
easy
Diezel
math again.
Depew, and then I read the Wall Street Journal in high school.
um, I read the Dayton Daily News, but it was mostly for the Dave Barry columns.
Yeah, I feel like the Dayton Daily News. That's like what, like Run Spot Run.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's written at a pre-K level, mostly pictograms.
Yeah, their report on 9/11 was really something else.
Right. Yeah. We make fun of it, but I guarantee that like the Dayton Daily News back in the 1980s probably had a larger staff than something like the New York Times does today,
Oh, almost certainly.
just because of the decline in print media. Uh, Tony Mulligan, senior research fellow at King's College London, told Newsweek the rise was a political tsunami that even caught the attention of politicians. You don't worry about this stuff when it's 2% of the population, but you don't expect it to be reaching the floor of Congress. So
That is, I mean, it is a big increase. It is getting, it's getting to Congress. You do have a
right,
lot of people. who are more vocal about this. We've had hearings. So, I mean, it is definitely something people are interested in on both sides of the aisle. We talked a lot about the Schumer amendment over the spring.
Uh-huh. Right. But your contention is that it sounds, I should say, it sounds like this guy's perspective is that because it gained traction amongst the public, now the government, like politicians, are picking it up. But you're saying kind of the reverse, that because of the congressional hearings, interest in it like picked back
Yeah,
up.
number one, like it's a
Okay.
lot more. It's more mainstream now that people who probably wouldn't have said that they were interested in this stuff or would have distanced themselves from it are now less likely to do so. Right. That's the first thing.
Right.
And then the
Right.
second thing is like there is, a reason for it. There's information that people are getting, and that's the conclusion they're coming
Mhm.
to.
Right.
Do I? Is it necessarily? Do I necessarily think that everything we've seen at the congressional hearings is 100% proof of alien life? No, I don't.
Well, of
But
course not. Yeah.
it's becoming an increasingly more rational explanation, right? And things like the Tic
Mhm.
Tac video that got released in 2022, I can't
Mhm.
think of another explanation that actually holds up.
Mhm. Yeah. No, that's yeah. Uh, the article continues. Depending on the results of November's presidential elections,
Mhm.
topic could go even further, as Donald Trump has vowed to declassify videos of alleged UFOs if he wins. The Republican nominee has had a decade-long fascination with the topic, said the Sun. I mean, could have done it last time, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, like if he already all right, I know I know there are laws and stuff,
There
but
are. Yeah.
is there any law against all right, if a document's classified, right?
Uh-huh.
Can you
Hmm.
say what's on it if you haven't declassified it, or is that still illegal?
Isn't that the definition of
No, but you don't actually release the
like
document. You
violating
just
the?
say, I saw this crazy
Oh
shit.
no, I think that would be. I think that would be illegal, right?
I don't know. I'm not a constitutional lawyer.
I don't know. It sounds like it should
I
be.
think
If
he
not,
said in 2016 that he would like release the truth about UFOs too, and a lot of like Clinton also said he would do that when he got elected.
yeah,
And it was an area of interest for Carter as well. Like,
right, right. And I think didn't was it Trump also that said he was going to release stuff about JFK?
yeah,
Or am I misremembering? Okay,
yeah.
yeah,
Turns out, bullet
mhm,
wounds to the head are fatal. Usually,
yeah. Who knew? Who
isn't
knew?
it crazy? All right, with the Kennedys, we don't.
Okay.
This is not super related. JFK gets shot in the head. RFK gets
Yeah.
shot in the head. Ted Kennedy
Hmm.
gets brain cancer. RFK Jr.
Hmm.
gets a brain worm. Like it is just a series of like less extreme
Like
head
head.
problems.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's just a sequence of head wounds, head injuries.
I don't know what it means, but like interesting stuff.
Right. That is kind of. I don't know.
Didn't
Were
one
they
of them die
cursed
of
or
an
something?
aneurysm too? Like some random sister in the family or something? Or it might have been a heart attack.
Man, I don't remember. Yeah, I got to be honest. Like to me, there it's like the royal family in that I don't pay enough attention to keep them all separate, and so I just have a list of like names and a list of things that happened, and I don't always know what matches up with what.
You know what I think whenever a Kennedy
Hmm.
dies? Maybe this is controversial.
Hmm.
I think, yeah, fuck the Patriots. Let's go, Giants.
Yeah, yeah, um, yeah. Article goes on. UK not immune to the growth. Milligan wrote in the conversation with around 20% of citizens believing in extraterrestrials have visited, and an estimated 7% saying they have seen a UFO.
All
Now
right.
that's a big gap.
That is way too
Like
many.
it,
No.
like 7% in the UK have seen a UFO, whereas 24% they're alleging in the US have seen UFO. I guess we are like a lot bigger,
All
right?
right. Here's what I will say. I went on 2 dates with a woman who said she was an abductee, and I don't think she listens to the
Oh,
show, so I could say this. When I was trying to take it further, I was like, "Yeah, that's interesting." and she told me her story. No, she didn't. She had a weird dream as a kid.
Yeah. No, it's going to talk about that abductions later in the article, but no, we've been at this for as hard as it is to believe almost a year now.
Almost a year.
We haven't we haven't come across any contemporary stories of UFO abductions, right? But that used to be the mainstay of like
Yeah.
UFO encounter stories was someone claiming
I do actually have like kind of a
that it was
theory
taken.
on that as a cultural symbol. It's a little
Uh-huh.
too serious, maybe, but that is like post World War II. People are hearing all these stories about the horrors of like Dr.
Mhm.
Mengele and Unit 731 and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like that. And I
sure.
do think that there was and along with what our government was
Oh,
doing, kind
uh-huh.
of a displacement of the sort of new
That fear,
medicalized humanitarian anxiety.
that no, that actually, yeah, that is too good an answer for this
Yeah, no,
podcast.
I thought about this the other day. I was like, man, that's like not stupid enough for me.
It is a slightly paradoxical belief, he said. Not only is there no proof in the existence of aliens, but the immense distance between star systems means it is more likely that any evidence would come from signals. So he's tipping his hand a little bit there. And as I referenced, like in the last story, yeah, to me, that's the biggest hurdle in believing that like any of this is happening is
Mhm.
uh, according to everything we understand about physics, like they can't. It would take them thousands of years to
That's
get here.
why interdimensional, because that's not
Exactly.
distance.
Uh-huh.
That's
No.
different types of woo woo shifty stuff.
I was going to say that, and that in itself has absolutely no basis in,
Since I quit
in,
smoking weed, I am a
in our
little more
understanding
skeptical
of
of the
physics.
interdimensional hypothesis, but I
Yeah,
still hold it on.
I I find it the most entertaining. I enjoy it. Like I, I wish it were true.
Well, no, because then it gets into like
To me, it sounds like
angel,
the most.
are
Mhm,
angels
mhm,
UFOs? Is Bigfoot a
right.
UFO? I saw a ghost as a kid. I think was
Mhm,
that a UFO? I mean, I don't know if it was a ghost or a UFO or what. I saw some weird shit when I
right.
was a kid, and I was definitely awake for it because I ran into my mom's room crying, and she was not happy.
Yeah. No. Yeah. The well, I think we had talked about it before that maybe all of these, paranormal, for lack of a better word, UFOs, Bigfoots, ghosts, they're all a manifestation of the same phenomenon, or they're the same like entity, but we filter it through the lens kind of our stories so that we can make sense of it, right?
Yeah.
So we have these different, and he actually sort of touches on that a little bit later in the article. Um, really going to put the growth in the belief down to quote familiar anti-elite tropes, the idea that people in positions of power are hiding the truth. Indeed, he added, belief in cover-up is more popular than the belief that aliens had come to Earth, with a staggering 68% of Americans telling a 2019 survey that the U.S. government hadn't revealed all it knew.
Do you think when 68% or 70% of Americans believe something, they fudge the numbers because they know we can't handle 69% as a country?
That could be. I was thinking that too. Here, because here in Colorado, right, uh, on I-70, we can't have a 420 mile marker.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, because it keeps getting stolen. So there is a 419.99
That's hilarious.
mile marker. So yes, I see how they might fudge it a little so that yeah, we're not all high fiving and chuckling. Yeah. No, interesting, and yeah, certainly like this much I agree with. There's just like I don't recall, a time in my life when there was less trust in kind of institutions just generally, right? Like the news, the medical, like any
Yeah.
big entity feels like it's kind of coming
Other
under
than
attack
us.
lately. Other than podcasters, which actually have grown exponentially in power,
Yeah, absolutely.
political might, and yeah, we're just biding our time until.
till Jason's campaign for
Assume
mayor of
control.
I don't know, what's a small town in Colorado?
Conifer.
Conifer, Colorado.
Conifer, yeah.
Conifer, Colorado sounds like the name of a gay porn star.
Actually, it's a pretty good name, yeah.
Right? Like I know that's an obvious joke, but
Yeah.
it's like very.
No, it's good.
If I
That's
met a guy
good.
named Conifer, Colorado, I wouldn't ask, "What do you do?" You know, because I know.
Right. Yeah. No, that is good. I like that. Uh, yeah. So here, psychologist Chris French, meanwhile, told the BBC's Sky at Night magazine that the growth in UFOlogy was something new. That in 1947, a quote golden year for sightings following the Roswell incident,
Mm-hmm.
a UFO was not automatically linked with alien life.
When we were testing rockets, we had like just figured out planes like 30 years ago.
Right, right. We were getting better at putting shit up there. So we were putting lots of shit up there just
Yeah.
to see what would work. And yeah. Yet now, he says, it would be the automatic go to explanation for many people, even though UFOologists themselves knew that the vast majority of sightings had a mundane explanation.
Mm.
People like the more exciting explanation, he added,
Well,
which
yeah,
seems,
it's cool.
yeah,
Obviously.
said common sense. Yeah. Um, yeah, that's interesting. I was kind of wondering about that. I, I have no doubt that people have been seeing shit in the sky for as long as there've been people. Stuff they didn't understand, or but yeah, the idea of it like being an extraterrestrial, yeah, that's like a contemporary, much more contemporary phenomenon. Like a being, a living being,
Mm-hmm.
or representing a living being.
No, for sure.
Yeah. Um, no, and and I've heard it linked to because that was immediately prior to that was kind of the invention and proliferation of like science fiction literature,
Right.
and that maybe that played a role in like the interpretation of these phenomenon, that was sort of a fresh cultural memory, or like something everyone could relate to. So
I mean, I think that's
that's
interesting because I think,
kind of what it
but
is.
like of the most golden age sci-fi. I mean, I guess you could have the
Hmm.
two categories, right? Because you have
Hmm.
either the golden age sci-fi of like Asimov and to a lesser
Right.
extent Arthur C. Clarke, people who were focused on hard science. Who I guess Arthur C. Clarke
Hmm.
had childhood's end, but otherwise weren't necessarily thinking about just those sorts of strange visitations. But then you had people like Hubbard who were much more. I mean, who were much more about like the fantastical element.
Right.
God,
Right. And
Childhood's End is
even, I
such a good
mean,
book. I should reread that.
I haven't read that. I'll have to read it. I've read a lot of Asimov. I like him.
Yeah,
Um,
Childhood's End is Clark. It's really good.
okay. Um, what was I going to say? Oh, well, even going back a little further, because that would have been what, the 50s into the 60s.
Yeah, I think
It was
starting
an
in like the
earlier,
late
yeah.
40s, probably.
Okay. I mean, even going back, like when was like Jules Verne, right? That was kind of right before the
Well,
turn
War
of
of
the
the Worlds was the
century.
1800s. Yeah, and that was
Yeah,
H.G. Wells.
H.G. Wells, excuse me.
Jules
Yeah,
Verne did the Underwater
like
one, 20,000 Leagues
yeah.
Under the Sea. I haven't read that.
No, I haven't read
It's
that
just
either.
one page. It says,
Oh,
"It's sure wet down here."
that's right. Some of those are so boring. It's so hard to
They
read
said
that.
it's a good thing we got this aftermarket PlayStation controller for the sub.
Yeah, yep. We're gonna have no problems. Um, no, I remember trying to read Around the World in 80 Days for a class in grade school, and like for the premise of the story, man, was it a slog.
Yeah,
Like that sucks.
the world was pretty boring back then.
Right.
I actually think the 1800s would be the worst time to be alive as far as the intersection of
Yeah.
like how much it sucked and how boring it was, like how horrible and
Yeah.
also boring it was. And I guess the
Right.
Middle Ages is probably worse.
I think the Middle Ages would be pretty bad.
God,
They, they,
I would have fucking crushed it in ancient Rome though.
You think so?
Yeah, I would have been an emperor's boy wife. It would have been great.
I honestly, I don't. I sort of wonder if I would even have survived to adulthood if I was born at any other time than when I was.
Oh,
I
not
don't
neither
know
of
if it
us would have made
survived
it
as
very
it
far.
was. Like I have no illusions that as cool as it would be to be like, a gladiator or a pirate. Like, no, I'm fucking dead by 13.
Yeah,
If that would be lucky.
I think that I think I would have done really well in ancient Rome if I had the same thing going on that I have here, which is having a rich dad. I would have done great in ancient Rome
Yeah,
if I still
that
had a
might help.
rich dad. Jeff, come back with me.
Yeah. Um, no, but just like as far as periods, I like Greece. I like ancient Greece. I think I'd
Yeah, ancient
that's
Greece is
similar,
cool.
kind of similar to Rome, but yeah,
Plus,
I
because the
feel like
Romans
it
took it
was
over and took a bunch of the culture.
exactly. Yeah.
SPQR, read the book.
Uh-huh.
I have to tell the audience sometimes that I know how to read.
Right. You
I'm
have
a
to
very
remind them.
smart boy.
Yeah. Hmm. You tell by the glasses. Would he have glasses if he wasn't smart?
Did dumb people have bad eyesight?
French also argued that other UFO related experiences, such as alien abduction, could be episodes of sleep paralysis that victims are later told was an extraterrestrial event. Can't be remembered because the alien, quote, wiped your memory. As for group cases of UFO sightings, he cited memory conformity, where the group discuss what they think they've seen and by doing so influences each other's recollections. Now, I've heard this like group or like mass hallucination argument before, and maybe it's because I haven't experienced that. Like this seems kind of far fetched to me that
Like,
like I mean that something that would be so out of the norm would be what everyone landed on. Like I get that, if there were 20 people and they saw a car crash, they might all misremember or sort of
yeah.
like have similar details. But like, you know, this is an alien in the sky. That seems like a little bit of a leap. You know what I mean?
But if you don't know, right? If because I think this is what I get. Like, if you're seeing something that you don't know what it is in the sky, right? And you've seen
Sure.
planes, you've seen balloons, you've seen fucking birds. That is what culture gives you, and
Right. No, exactly.
for
Yeah.
the same reason
Mhm.
that it would have been an angel in biblical times, right?
The
Like,
Middle Ages. Yeah. Right. No. I understand. Yeah. No. I get it. I get what you're saying. Um, I guess I just feel like I'm too cool. I'm such an iconoclast. I'm not conforming to your beliefs, man.
you're gonna go back to it's an angel.
Exactly. Stick with the classics.
No, man, for real.
Yeah.
It's a witch.
Uh Yeah. Right.
Lock your
Um.
broomsticks up.
Hmm.
By the way,
Yeah.
they always
That's
talk about witches
well.
flying on these wooden brooms. I have a like modern brooms. I've never seen a broom with the wooden handle. Right, every broom I've ever seen has the plastic handle.
Really.
Yeah, I think I'm just so young. They don't want us to get splinters. Even as a kid, we had a plastic handle broom in my
Yeah.
house. Right? I guess I've seen a janitor with like a big broom with a wooden handle, but that's for the
Sure.
professionals.
Sure. Right. Yes, you can't just go to Lowe's and buy one of those. Like you order it online and you have to show them your janitor's
You have to show them
credentials
your
and
badge and your gun.
right, and then they'll send you that kind of equipment. But otherwise, yeah, you're getting a little what is it, Swift? I think that's a brand.
I have Swiffer.
I don't know.
I have a Swiffer wet jet.
No, Swiffer's different. I haven't bought a broom in like because when you buy a broom, you're kind of done.
Yeah, you don't need well, I just
You
moved, so I
don't,
had to get a new broom,
of
and
course,
new
right.
broom, new Swiffer.
New broom, new you.
new broom,
Yeah.
new me. The most boring thing about me is how much I love my Swiffer wet jet, though. I will say that.
Oh no, totally for hardwood floors. Yeah. No, I loved it.
Yeah.
I worked for Procter and Gamble, so I got like a whole bunch of it free. I was living the dream.
I know
Got
you
all
work
those
for Procter and
pads.
Gamble.
in their call center.
Oh, nice. You had more call center
Yeah,
experience than me.
it was awful. I hated it.
And then you went to another call center job.
Actually, I went to another one between them too.
Oh my god. You lived the fate I
But that's
dreaded.
yeah. I was never at them for more than like a year,
Yeah, that's true.
and I yeah
I feel like when you switch call centers, you get a little bit of a reprieve because you get to try new complaints for a bit.
right right.
I worked
Well,
at. Sorry, what
and
were you
then
gonna say?
you get a few weeks of like training where you don't have to do anything. Like you
Yeah,
just come into the office for 8 hours a day,
and
and
if you're not planning on
yeah,
staying for more than a year, you don't really need to try for the rest of it. Because
mm,
unless you egregiously fuck up, like it takes
nope,
them a while to
hmm
fire you for stats. They fire you
right,
very quickly for like being an asshole and screaming at old people on the phone, for instance.
right.
Not to name
No,
names.
no, yeah,
Not to
yeah,
Facebook anyone
yeah.
we know.
You can just say it was me. That was a while ago, and I've forgiven you, or you've forgiven me. I guess I don't know how that would. I don't know if you had to fire me, who of us would feel worse in that
I think
situation.
that like I don't. So I did at the call center job have to fire a few people, and I don't
Hmm
think that any of them were like mad about it.
Yeah, yeah,
I
well,
had
that's
to,
good.
I had to fire three people. One was
Oh
for they
wow,
just never went to work, so that was like easy, and
sure,
it was like you're
yeah,
fired because you haven't been to work ever, and they were like that's fair.
right. I was going to say they have to see that one coming, right? Like
Yeah,
you have to know. Yeah.
one. No, I fired two people. The other person, the person who got fired for never going to work, I didn't even need to like sit down with the person because they weren't there. I just
hmm
had to be like, hey,
Well,
like we're gonna send
obviously,
you your stuff. You haven't been here in 3 weeks, so we're like it's
yeah,
job abandonment. And
yeah.
then the other person, I just pulled him in and I was like, you're bad at this and you should leave. I didn't say it like that.
Just
They
like
gave me
this.
his whole script to give them.
Just
I
like
felt
this.
bad.
Yeah.
I was like crying, and that
I'm
person was like,
sure.
it's fine.
I'm sure. No, it's got to suck to do that.
I'm a sensitive guy.
I've never had to. Yeah. You can tell by the glasses.
Exactly. No, I actually hated that. Like managing people sucked. I hated it.
Yeah. No, I'm sure. Yeah. No, I don't uh, envy your position there. Uh, where was I at? Oh, uh, one other reason why more people believe in aliens and UFOs, rise of social media, of course.
Obviously,
But Barry Markovsky of the of United, the University of South Carolina. Uh, Mobile phone images of quote nondescript lights in the sky can quickly go viral, adding to the interest that already exists and encourage other people to share their own photos of odd-looking content. Belief in aliens is a trend that grows and fades, he added, but like political scandals and high-waisted jeans, it will never go away.
if you want to see some odd looking content, by the way, next
Mhm.
time you're on a porn site, sort by new.
Really? Man,
You
I
fit a
don't.
lot into a tight space.
I thought I honestly thought you were going to use that as an opportunity to plug our social medias, but
Oh yeah, you could also follow our social media to watch me choke last week on Facebook, Instagram,
right,
TikTok, YouTube.
right, yeah, I watched that, and first of all, my spouse gave me shit because I kept talking,
Well, yeah, I was muted.
and I was like, well, what am I supposed to do? And it made me realize what we need a Heimlich emoji. We have all these other emojis, right? There can't be like we can't get a Heimlich maneuver emoji.
you call you call 911 and you're like, transfer me to Brooklyn. My podcast co-host is choking.
Right.
I can't say the neighborhood. I got a straight crazy person in Illinois sending his 23-year-old sister to threaten to kill me on Instagram. So
Right. Yeah. No, it's a mess. All right. Ready for the last story?
hell yeah.
All right. I think that's good. This one comes to us from iHorror,
Ooh.
written by Timothy Rawls. Uh, but this is the website iHorror.com. This is classified as editorial, which implies they have like sections.
Yeah,
Do
I
they
want
have
to see their.
sports? I wonder.
Well, you know what I think their sports section is? The Giants
Mm.
these days. Am I right?
Oh, dang.
All right.
Got
Yeah.
him.
Brief sports rant
Got
though.
him.
I actually
Okay.
people are saying the Giants got to get rid of Daniel Jones as quarterback. I love the
Okay.
guy because he is the only professional athlete I have ever watched and genuinely
Mhm.
thought I could do better than you.
Yeah. Wow. He's got to suck.
15 million a year.
Man. I wish I would have played more sports when I was younger, but
I don't think you would have made either of us would have made the NFL, Jason.
oh, you don't think
I
so?
think it would have been the same thing. We just have CTE,
Right.
which I would be a better
For
comedian.
entirely, let's say entirely different reasons. All right. Our last is the headline, our final story. More chocolates are made from molds of real cadaver worms.
All right. I'm
And I'm
gonna
going to actually share
pass.
some photos. Yeah.
No, we'll post some photos on the Instagram. Gross.
Very much so. Unlike Forrest Gump's famous "life is like a box of chocolates" platitude, you know what you're going to get in this box, although you may not want to eat them. Now, for your benefit, Andrew, Forrest Gump was a really popular movie in late '90s,
Mhm.
starring Tom Hanks, where he played a sort of simple man who, through just circumstance, ended up at a lot of major points in history
I have seen.
in the 50s,
Yeah.
60s, and
I have
70s.
seen Forrest Gump. Thank you for telling me though.
No,
I was born in 2011, so that's good. The other thing is I do love when people talk about that movie and they say like he plays a simple man because like it came out just at the time when they couldn't say the R word anymore.
right. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. He has a cognitive
Because
disability.
that was around like that movie came out just on the cusp of like you can't say
Mhm.
that anymore. So I feel like they had
Right.
probably prepped marketing material that was like he's R worded, but like you won't get what he does next or whatever.
Right. Get this. He beats Kennedy. Yeah.
God.
Um, I've never really liked that movie, to be honest with you. I
It
don't
is
hate it,
weirdly
but like,
right wing.
I, yeah, it never sat well with me.
You know what the other thing about that movie is that's weird? And
Hmm.
I think I saw this in like I'm not the first person to come up with this observation.
Mhm.
Almost every Robert Zemeckis movie has a scene where someone is sexually assaulted in a car.
Really?
Yeah,
Holy shit! Wow. I'll have to check. I'll have to. Yeah, I mean, off the top of my head, you're right,
that's
but
crazy.
I'm certainly not as familiar. Yeah, it is.
I hope he's okay.
I was gonna say, should we send him a message?
God.
Should we send him a tweet? Hey, man, therapy.
I think he's found the most effective therapy, fame and money.
Well, you think so? You think those? I think those make it so it doesn't matter as much.
That's what therapy's
You can
for.
indulge it. Yeah, you can indulge your
Your demons.
whatever your exactly. Anyway, back to Gris chocolates. Uh, filled with bonbons shaped like head wounds, diseased organs, burnt flesh, and other fatal mutilations. This set gives new meaning to the term dark chocolate.
Aha. I mean,
Yeah.
all right. The body did they donate their bodies to this? Did the families agree to this?
Um, Here, let me continue.
Okay.
Maybe it'll answer some of our questions. Uh,
Is the
for
chocolate
all
fair
of the pure,
trade? Can we answer that? Is the chocolate fair trade or whatever? Or is this like child
it
labor
doesn't
chocolate?
it doesn't specify, but given the context, I think probably.
Because I was going to say, a thing they could probably do to save money is just use the fatal wounds of the kids that pick the cocoa beans.
That's kind of a 2-for-1.
Exactly,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's called a horizontal
And
monopoly, or a vertical monopoly.
right.
Yeah, it's a vertical monopoly.
Or horizontal.
No, a horizontal monopoly is when
And
you
you have the
have
kids.
every company in an industry. So if I owned like every steel company, because this is a concept from the 1900s, then that would be a vertical monopoly. A horizontal monopoly is if you own every step of production. So if you own the farm, you own the bakery, you own the restaurant, that's a horizontal monopoly.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Or a vertical monopoly, rather.
Thank you.
It's the glasses.
For all you curious, yeah, exactly. What I told you, he was smart.
Yeah.
For all you curious macabre enthusiasts,
that's us.
Put your debit card. Yeah. Well, that is. Put your debit cards away because these candies aren't for public consumption.
Oh.
They're a project created by an American artist, Stephen J. Shanbrook, who in real life assisted his dad, a coroner, at work. Shanbrook also worked at a chocolate factory as a young adult. These two professions collided in 1995 when he started making molds of dead people's fatal injuries as conceptual art. So I'm
My
going to
birth year.
guess no. Yeah. Oh, congratulations.
I turn into hit the big 29 tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, happy birthday. Early happy birthday.
Thank you.
I know I think I know a chocolatey treat to send you.
Too old to be mayor of
Anyway,
Edgewater.
exactly. Uh, yeah, so given the fact that it's his dad who was a coroner that he's working with, I'm going to guess no, there was not consent. The people that died, like, this wouldn't even be a case of like, they consented to donate their bodies. Like they just were this is part of the process,
Man.
right? So, yeah, that's maybe a little concerning.
Yeah, that's not good.
No.
Do they tell them?
Uh,
They go like, "Hey, just so you know, R.I.P. your son made a great peanut butter."
the families. Okay. It doesn't say anywhere in the article. I'd like to think so. I mean, well, I don't know. I guess I think of artists as being like really sensitive people, but maybe also assholes. So who knows?
No, as a comedian, I will say people in the arts are not always really sensitive people.
Okay. Fair enough. I guess I'm projecting.
I mean, comedian is the most fake type of artist, so to be fair, like...
No, that's an art. I think what we're doing to a lesser extent is an art, but I mean, I wouldn't put it, don't get me wrong, I'm not comparing it to chocolate gunshot wounds or
No,
anything,
for sure.
but...
I honestly think it beats out what we do beats out the Mona Lisa, though.
Sure, this comes to you, right?
Yeah, because like...
You don't have to go to... Yeah.
Yeah, first off, like, no offense to Da Vinci, right? But first off, we are much more sexually frustrated than him. Second off, Mona Lisa, you can't even tell what that dumb broad is thinking. Us, on the other hand, you know exactly what's on my mind.
That's right. Yeah, we'll let you know. I don't know. That's a good point. According to the artist's website, the chocolate molds were made from impressions collected at morgues in both Russia and America. My work is a sculptural realization of lived experience, thus responsible for its chaotic path. Yeah, never mind. This is one of those asshole artists.
Yeah, this guy's definitely a real dick. Whenever you have to enlist the Russian morgue, that's not good, right?
That's not right.
Whenever you're like, I can't do this at a Florida morgue, that's bad.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Shannabrook explains further on his website. I have times working in chocolate, cotton candy, or found plastic and everything in between. Work for me is about the process, the manipulation of a given material, and treating these materials as temporary guests in my hands.
So here's the thing about that, right? Chocolate, fine. If I die of some sort of weird wound, make a chocolate. That's fine. Don't fucking
Okay.
make cotton candy out of me. Don't.
No, that's like one of the worst candies.
No, can't.
Like,
Yeah, cotton
like
candy is fucking garbage.
I'm not 3 years old.
I had
Like,
cotton candy
like
for the
raw
first
sugar
time
isn't.
when I was 8 because it looked so good, and I was like,
Yeah,
man, this is fucking horrible. I hate this.
yeah. No, it is, and it gets all over your fucking hands. And
If
it's
you
always at a place. It's always at a place like a carnival where it's not easy to like just go wash your hands.
if you see a person buy like the tub of cotton candy at the store, call the police.
Oh no, yeah, I don't even know what that's for, to be honest with you. I assume pranks. Like, I don't think
Yeah.
anyone buys it to like consume it. Um, where was I at? Oh, temporary guest in his hands. The drive for me has always been the sacred found object, an object with its own history, given to me to mold into another narrative. Eventually, we realize that our own body and self is also found art, given briefly, so we too can write our own
All
story.
right, I want to be very careful about what I say because I don't want us to get in any trouble here. This guy's coming in the chocolates, right?
Almost certainly.
Right? Like, I
But
can't
yeah,
legally say
this,
he's coming in the chocolates, but I am coming to the
yeah,
conclusion that he is likely coming in the chocolates.
yeah. Um,
Also solidifies,
yes,
so.
almost certainly. Uh-huh, right. Yeah. No, I absolutely think so. Yeah, these are really gross, horrible. In a more disturbing installation, Shauna Brooke created an entire chocolate mold of a real suicide bomber in a disemboweled repose. And there's a link on the website to view it. I did. I do not recommend
All right, I'm going to look it up right now.
it.
Chocolate
Okay.
suicide bomber. Oh, let me see.
Anyway, while you're looking it up, I'll just finish here real quick.
Yeah.
Sean Book travels the world with his exhibitions. His latest was in Rotterdam, Netherlands, because of course it would be.
All right, I'm looking at this chocolate suicide bomber now, and it is
Uh-huh.
gross. But
It
also,
is
like,
super
the
gross.
chocolate does look good.
It does.
Like,
Yeah,
I do bet, especially the spilled gut part is probably pretty tasty.
yeah. It looks like there might be. Is there like pecans under the chocolate?
There's definitely a whole ass chocolate Easter egg as one of the organs.
Right. Yeah. But no, it is super gross. Um, yeah. So this guy's fucked up. Said
Man,
I'll have to remember to share some of these images. But I don't know. That's
I think we can share them.
I mean some of them just sort of look like
Yeah, the ones
if you
I
didn't
saw just
know.
looked like chocolates. I hadn't seen the suicide bomber until now.
Yeah, they look like they almost look like something maybe like an amateur made and like fucked up. Do
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like because they're not, they have like holes or yeah, but knowing what they are sort
man.
of changes the impression I feel or get from them. But yeah, that's fucking wild.
Are chocolatiers assholes? Because they don't run the cocoa farm. They just like make the chocolates. Are they usually assholes? I know chefs are usually assholes.
That's a great question. Um,
Willy Wonka was a dick, but like that was him.
well, right, yeah. So the only touchstones I have it's Willy Wonka, and then there's a French guy that shows up on a lot of these cooking shows,
Hmm.
like on Netflix, or he's like a French chocolatier.
Oh man,
If you said his name, I would know it, but
Emmanuel
he's
Macron.
always like that's it. Emmanuel Macron, yeah, his like he made there's a YouTube video where he makes like a big chocolate dragon. Um,
Oh, that's cool.
I would think I would think you'd have to be an asshole a little bit
Because
to
you have to remove the
like
whimsy.
yeah, right, right. It can't be yeah, like to reach that level in anything, you have to be like kind of a selfish dick.
Yeah, that's why I'm gonna make
You
it
know
in
what I mean?
comedy.
Exactly, because you're focusing all your time on that. You're stepping on people, to get
Exactly.
where you want, follow
That's
your
me.
ambition.
They call me the Brooklyn
Yeah,
Bully.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. How you've changed, man.
Yeah, the 2,300 TikTok followers have gone to my head.
Man, if it keeps going in this direction, you're gonna have to turn in your smart and sensitive
I'll have
glasses.
to get a pair of Oakleys.
Right. You'll have to get, yeah, prescription wraparounds.
I'll have to get the Venetian blind glasses that Kanye West used to wear.
Oh hell yeah.
I tried when I was 13. We took a class trip to Boston, and I bought one of those and put them on. And man, I got really bullied for that on that trip. And also, you cannot see very well in those. You cannot see.
I can't imagine. No, I can't imagine.
I walked around in them all day, and like I gave myself a really bad headache.
Yeah, I was gonna say it would give me a headache to do that.
And I looked like I was like a fat, short 13-year-old kid. I looked like Gary Coleman with Michael Jackson disease, so it wasn't like a cool look either way.
And well, that seems like a good spot to close.
All right. Well, anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode.
Yeah.
I think this was a good episode.
I hope so.
We'll find out.
No, it's fine.
If you like this episode, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, Underworld News Tonight, along with, of course, wherever you get your podcast. Remember to subscribe. Remember to rate the show. Remember to comment. Say hi. It is my birthday when I'm editing this. So, say hi to me. Say happy birthday to me.
Yeah. Send them some chocolates.
Yeah. And speaking of me, my favorite subject, you can also follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube myself, Andrew Michaels Comedy. And you can also follow Jason Strong on some platforms.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram and TikTok under Jason V Strong. One of these days, I'll actually post something on TikTok.
You gotta take your shirt
I've
off.
never done it. I've never done it before, so now I don't know. What do people post?
I just post honestly, my TikTok, a lot of it is just like little jokes I make. I post some stand-up clips, but then it's mostly like me making jokes that I know aren't necessarily going to work on stage, but work better in that sort of format. And then sometimes I'll post about something serious, like I did recently, but I don't like to do that. So,
sure, okay. All right, well, that clears it up.
Yeah. If you see something serious from me on TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube, which you might, just know that's not what I do.
Right.
And, if I post something serious, it's for a reason.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Look for my inaugural TikTok where I discuss the Fed's recent decision to lower interest rates.
Hell yeah. I would love
riveting.
I would love to listen to a podcast where you talk about the financial markets.
That's literally something I know fuck all about.
You could co-host with my dad.
I know words. I know words, but I don't even know what they mean.
My dad has the most wholesome old guy Twitter account on the planet, where he tweets about the interest rates and like old guy rock music. And my favorite is that recently it took over a year off of Twitter from tweeting about interest rates, only to do a quote tweet about how much he loves Joe Strummer, and loved it. Loved that for him.
No, that is good. Yeah. No, that's good for him.
Yeah. I'm not going to say my dad's Twitter because he has a real job and doesn't want to be associated with this probably.
Right. Yeah, please.
Don't harass my dad on Twitter, guys. Come on.
Right.
He definitely doesn't get notifications. He won't see it.
Right. Again, thanks for listening. Did anything else? We did the social media.
We did. Do we have any words of wisdom to close on? Words of wisdom for the audience. Diezel Depew. I want to talk to Diezel Depew actually, because genuinely, all right, I did look into the Diezel Depew thing. It seems like he was like a kid who was also like showing up at Trump rallies and like kind of looked like a little baby Trump, and like he looks like a college he looks like a college Republican, and you could read that how you will.
Very much so.
And like
no, it's exactly what you picture.
Yeah, and like
the image that comes to mind. Yes.
I do think though, like presumably his views have probably actually changed at some point in his life, right? Because like he was so young when he got there. And like, number one, in all seriousness, it is okay to quit this job. you can resign as mayor of Edgewater, Florida. Your life isn't over.
Right.
You can get some weird commentary position. You could be. We'll have you on the pod if you promise not to say the N-word.
Exactly. You could start a podcast too.
Yeah, you can say
I'll
the
help you
N-word
with
as much
that.
as you want on that. Probably
No,
not.
no, you really shouldn't. Yeah,
Yeah.
don't.
Well, I thought you should.
Please do.
I think you can. You definitely shouldn't.
Yeah.
But I think that like you
Yeah.
could get away with it. But no, you definitely can't. I think you'd get kicked off of Spotify for that.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know.
But if you're regretting, the time you spent in Edgewater politics, I'm gonna say don't, because the past is the past, the future's the future, and it's all phantom time. But right now, anyway.
Yeah.